right, this is Maiwan for Dash Radio on Dash R&B X. Today we have someone special. Not only do we have an incredibly talented artist, budding star, we also have an incredibly talented songwriter.
Thank you.
Joelle James in the house.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm amazing. I'm so happy to be here. This facility is insane.
Oh, thank
you
so
for
much.
having me.
Thank you so much. We're excited to have you. You know, when they submitted you to come in, listen to your music, and obviously it's good. I want to first off say, anyone who hasn't heard Joelle James's voice, I'm saying it right, Joelle James?
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
You have more soul than 99% of artists out, and probably 90% of artists ever. Like, you really have a very deep, soulful voice.
Thank you.
And I would really compare you to like SZA, you know, because your natural voice is so powerful.
Wow, that's such a compliment. Thank you.
Well, you use a lot of your natural voice. I don't hear a lot of auto-tune. Like, you know, there's gonna be some, right? But
I do love to sing, so.
Like, you really sing. Because there's like singing. There's like, you know, there's different levels of singing. But then there's like that Anita Baker.
Yes.
That just, you know, Donna had that singing with nothing around, just a microphone. And thank you for doing that.
Oh, well, thank you for appreciating it.
Well, you could easily just turn the auto-tune up, you know what I mean?
You know, auto-tune is very, very helpful, especially when it's late at night and you're in the studio and you're kind of just like, damn, I don't want to try that hard. I just want to get these words out. So that auto-tune can come in handy.
Absolutely. And for people who can't sing, it's a crutch, you know what I mean? It makes it sound like you can almost.
Yes, it's very deceiving sometimes. But.
So I got to get into your journey because you got signed. You were affiliated with Chris Brown, right? In 2015 or 2014, around the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so going from there to where you are now and everything in between. I mean, you've written for JoJo, Ella Mai. Like, we got a lot to talk about with Boot Up. Mm-hmm. You've written for a lot of people. What was the biggest change in your career from then to now? Like, what was the change that maybe a change you made or something that changed around you?
I think the biggest change was just being known as like an established songwriter because when I signed with Chris, I was discovered off YouTube and I was just a student at Berkeley.
He discovered you, right? Like himself.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I was just a student at Berkeley College of Music doing YouTube covers and he found me on YouTube. And so when I first came into the game, I was really just a singer. I love to sing, like you said, and didn't really know much about songwriting or how to like maneuver a studio or anything like that. Obviously, I had education from my school, but a lot of times I felt like that was like homework.
Yeah.
To write your song and get an assignment done the next day. So I think that's the biggest thing is that once I got into the game, it was like, oh, you need to write your songs and just developing that skill over that time. I think that's the biggest.
Well, that's really interesting. So Chris discovered you off your voice doing covers. Mm-hmm. Were you writing songs at the time?
No. Like I said, I was homework. I took songwriting classes at Berkeley, so it was like a homework assignment, but it was never like a passion of mine.
What tapped in? Like, what was it where you locked into that zone? And
honestly, it was just people not being able to tell my story but me. So, you know, I would get sessions booked. I was signed to Interscope, and they would bring songwriters in to write songs for me, which was super amazing. But it just never seemed to connect until I was able to like write my own stories.
Interesting, yeah, because you're like you're almost reiterating someone else's pain or someone else's love or something. That's really interesting. Mm-hmm. Now you were sitting. So anyone listening who doesn't know, this incredibly talented young woman wrote "Boot Up" for Ella Mai, which is wild because that's like that was one of the biggest songs before the pandemic.
Yes.
Even in the pandemic, it came back because everyone's trying to get booed up.
Exactly.
But that song has an interesting story to it, right? Because you released it, if I'm correct.
No, I actually didn't ever release it, but there were a lot of people interested. I mean, I wrote the song originally for myself.
And you wrote it like in 2015, right?
Yeah, most of my songs, I mean, actually every song I've written that I've given to Tamar, JoJo, Justine Skye, they're all songs that I've started just writing myself because, like I said, that's how I started. I'm like, okay, I need to write my story. So I wrote Boot Up way before it popped, and
because by the time it popped, it must have been so played out for you as far as how many times you heard it.
It wasn't played out because I really believed in the song, and like like I said, it had a long life. Some movie soundtracks were interested in it. Some other record execs were interested in it. And it wasn't until I was working with Kevin Hart on his What Now soundtrack that was like a song we were thinking about using. But then I also have a song with Chris that ended up on that soundtrack called Scream, which I love. So when that whole transaction was happening, I think Mustard like reheard it, and it sparked him to be like, oh shit, might be a hit. And I was sitting there like, duh, I knew that was a hit.
I've been telling you Mustard was the deal.
Yeah,
so Mustard produced the record, right? Or no?
Yeah, Mustard and Lorance Dobson from 1500 or Nothing.
You did oh man, he is a beast.
Yes.
That dude is an animal.
He
1500
is.
and Nothing doesn't get enough love.
Nope.
How instrumental they are in hip hop's evolution. Like when you listen to a lot of the new Kendrick and a lot of this new music has so many analog elements. And for us here in LA, 1500 and Nothing, we're like the first people doing live instruments.
Exactly.
All their music. So shout out to Rance, my guy Mars.
Yep.
I don't know
Those
all
are my
of them,
brothers.
Mars is the guy. I used to see him all the time.
I think after this interview, actually, we're headed over to 1500 Sound Academy.
Oh shit! I'm about to hop in an Uber and be like, follow
come on down.
them.
You should come see it. It's super amazing.
I heard it's
just as dope as this place.
No, I heard it's doper. I heard crazy things about that place.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So I gotta ask you, you had done the record with them before it got to Ella Mai, right?
Actually, I recorded the song and conceptualized the song in an Atlantic Records studio, which was completely separate. And then when we brought in the Kevin Hart ideas, that's when we brought Rance in, and he like reproduced it, freshened it up. So it was kind of lyric melody was already there.
Got
and then
it. They built the production around it. So who is it about? Who were you
who is it
booed up with? Who were you booed up?
Okay.
Because this is so interesting.
No, I mean, I'm not going to say who it was about but it was about me wanting to be booed up.
Interesting.
Definitely. And I was not, I was not getting the love reciprocated. I was in my feelings.
Thank God you were, because you wrote that so you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, whoever was ignoring you at the time, whatever dude was living.
Yeah, I really am grateful for him. Actually,
God bless him.
God bless him.
He helped you create one of.
I'm pretty sure he knows it's about him. So I'm surprised he hasn't asked me for publishing yet. But he's not getting any of that.
No publishing, because we're not dropping his name, so he's not getting nothing.
No name dropping.
But I gotta say, that's so incredible, because I'm sure you realize it, but you created a moment in our generation's R&B timeline. Like, there's moments when we were younger. I imagine we're around the same age. I'm 29. I remember Usher. I remember when You Don't Have to Call came out.
Yes.
I remember coming down the stairs and it was like, don't leave your girl around me. And everyone like looked at each other.
Usher was literally a moment. Like,
but you did this. You did this moment. I don't think you can see it yet, because we're still only 2 years out.
Right.
But I think in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, Boot Up will be the defining R&B song of the last few years.
Thank you. I really am grateful to have been able to contribute to culture that way, because, we grew up, millennial, Gen Z hybrid, like not always with the internet, but now we have it like nonstop, so seeing like memes and seeing the song like translate that way was really crazy for me. I was like,
I didn't
what?
even think about that, because there was a lot of memes about that at the time. There still is, So we got to talk about your journey. I wanted to begin with that, so people listening, people watching this have an understanding of who we're talking to. I don't want people to think we're just talking to like some emerging artist. Like, no, this is an accredited songwriter.
Thank you.
Award-winning, so talented. But I got to talk about your journey, because if I'm correct, you're from Murrieta.
I'm from Murrieta, California.
So I know about those areas. I used to be out there a lot, and don't mean it's a lot of people, when you hear like, oh, I came from Compton, you assume like, oh, they came from a hard place. Like, I'm so proud of them. Murrieta is a really hard place. It's not an easy place to, maybe Murrieta is not as bad, but some of the surrounding areas, Hemet, Moreno Valley.
The IE, yeah.
Did you call it the high E or the
IE?
I thought you called
Inland
it the
Empire.
high E. Yeah, no,
it could be the high E too,
But from the IE, how did you get here to LA? Would you drive out here? Or did you have a year when you moved?
I look at my upbringing as super, super fortunate, because it is so close to LA. And when I was younger, you know, I was singing since I was 5 in the church choir, and then as I got older, my mom would bring me up here for auditions. I auditioned for the Cheetah Girls.
Oh,
I
shout out
auditioned
to
for
your
Hannah
mom.
Montana.
You
I
had a
auditioned for
supportive
all
mom. Hell
these
yeah.
shows and stuff, and kind of got like that taste of, you know, that lifestyle. And then I did Star Search when I was really young.
Oh, you did
And
it
then I
all.
did Showtime at the Apollo when I was really young, which was iconic, at the Apollo Theater in New York.
Wow.
So-
You did the Apollo?
Yeah,
Did they clap
isn't
for
that
you,
crazy?
or
They
were
clapped.
they quiet?
Yes,
Wow.
they clapped.
Wow.
And then, yeah, I mean, I grew up singing tons of national anthems. There's so many sports in Southern California, so I love doing that. I also love sports. And I guess it just kind of was, you know, my dream. So I ended up here. I went to Berklee College of Music, like I said. I lived in New York for a little bit, so I got the whole my Sex in the City
You got those
dream
years
out
you.
of me, you know. And then I'm just here in LA, like a real Cali girl.
Yeah, I mean, and like LA and the IE are, you know, so anyone who doesn't understand, it's not that far apart.
No, it's like an hour.
You're literally as close as like Calabasas is to where we
Exactly.
are right now. I can get to those areas.
Yeah.
So that is LA, and I think it's hilarious because I was talking to someone last night. It's so random, but rap artist Noah James from the IE, and we were talking about how LA will claim people from the IE when convenient. Like when Kawhi Leonard won a championship with the
Riverside,
Raptors,
yeah.
everyone was like, "Oh, that's LA. Kawhi's all LA." And then when he lost with the Clippers, all the memes were like, "Nah, he's from Moval. Like that cat's not
You know,
LA."
they're choosy out here,
But do you feel like you're a Los Angeles? I guess I share.
Yeah.
Angelo, as they say, because you
I
are.
mean, I feel like it's Southern California. Like
Exactly,
we're all
exactly.
family. We all understand what's up. We all know about the sunshine,
Yeah.
the good weather. You can't really compare it to anywhere else. So,
So it must have taken a lot of hard work then, I imagine, to get to where you are.
oh yeah, it's been a long journey. It's been hard work, but I wouldn't change any of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now, fast forward, you've written these songs. What's your drive not reinvent, but to come out as an artist yourself? Because you're doing great as a songwriter, and it's
you.
much less stressful. You know, I feel like being behind the scenes and letting Ella Mai deal with all like the front stuff as a songwriter. But as an artist, you take on a lot of that as well. It's a lot more work. What's driving Joelle James, such a successful songwriter, to keep pushing and growing
I
as an
think what's driving me is that, you know, I started as wanting to be an artist and starting as, you know, solely a singer, and then the songwriting craft kind of came a little bit later. So it's not like I left that original drive
Yeah,
of wanting
that
to
makes
be an
sense.
artist. So yeah, it is a lot of pressure, but that's why we apply pressure.
Exactly. That's what a
And
great way to transition into the new single.
Yes, the new single is called Apply Pressure, and
And
that's literally what I wrote it about. Like, I had a lot of success writing Boot Up. I've had success.
Doing
Luckily,
a lot of things, by the way. Like, it's not just that. So anyone listening knows it's not like she just wrote Boot Up and never, like, you've written hits. But anyway,
Thank
sorry,
you.
continue.
But yeah, that's what I wrote the song about. It's like, I'm not gonna give up my dream. Like, this is what I want to do, and you know, I just want to see where the marathon takes me. And
I love that. Rest in peace, Nip. I love
yeah,
that.
Nip was my big bro. I learned so much from him. Actually,
Really?
my other single, Heart Can't Take It, I actually wrote it about Nip, kind of. It was written, yeah, I mean, we were both nominated for the Grammy together, which was like the most magical time. My brand manager, Big Bob, you'll hear Nip talking about him in a lot of interviews.
Wait, what record did you guys get nominated for together?
Oh, we weren't together, but we were. His album Victory Lap was nominated, and Boot Up was nominated.
Okay,
so that
okay.
was like our.
And you guys knew each other.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like.
Yeah, he was
a
my
great
big
dude,
bro.
man.
Yeah.
Nip used to come through Dash all the time. So the founder of Dash Radio, DJ Ski, was working with Nipsey from like 2008.
Yeah, DJ
on.
Ski's.
Yeah, so
his
I used
brother.
to intern with Ski, and you know I got to luckily I had the chance to cross paths with Nip like a dozen times, and
You're very blessed.
he
Yeah.
was such an incredible human being. You know, had such a smart head
Beyond
on his
words.
shoulders, and
Yeah.
I remember my thing I got from him. I'm sure he got so many gems from him, but one day he came through and he didn't have a lot of jewelry or chains on, and my sister was there. My sister's like, "You're a really smart guy. Like, I just gotta ask, why don't you buy all the jewelry like every other rapper we've met?" Because we were backstage with, you know, Drake, Busta, And Nipsey said, "Why would I buy something that depreciates like that?
Yep.
Because I got some gold. I got a Rollie because it appreciates."
Yep.
So when I first learned, I was like, "Wait, Rolexes appreciate?" And then he started talking about owning houses and, you know, not even like jumping out of buying stupid luxury cars and putting that into property and commercial real estate. Mind you, he was like 23, 24.
Yep.
So he was special. I learned a lot. Like, even in my little moments with him, I learned a lot. And I can see a lot of that hustle and drive in you. 'Cause, you know,
Absolutely.
you've been
He's
grinding.
one of my biggest inspirations, and I'm just so beyond blessed that I had the opportunity to know him while he was on Earth. And like I said, my brand manager gave him a lot of his philosophies as far as his brand and the Marathon Continues whole movement. So that's kind of what
Rob, you said,
Big
right?
Bob, yeah.
Big Bob.
That's
Shout out
kind
Big
of
Bob.
what I you know, I've started my own company since
There we go.
being signed with Interscope, so I have my own movement called Vanilla Factory.
Okay.
And yeah,
Vanilla Factory.
Yes,
Interesting
Vanilla
name.
Factory.
I like that. I like
Thank
that.
you.
So I gotta ask you now. Applying Pressure, you sing. You are singing, but you're singing in more of like a like more of like a uplifting, not like My Heart's Broken
Right.
type song.
Exactly.
But a lot of your music, you know, you obviously you're speaking on things you go through.
Mm-hmm.
So when you did the pack of songs in 2020, which was 2020 Vision,
Yes.
and Where Is It
Where
Now?
in the World.
Where in the World? Okay,
Yes.
sorry, I need to get my shit
It's
together.
okay.
But those were based on, I'm assuming, what you were seeing in 2020, right?
Well, yeah, it's actually kind of crazy. So after I won the Grammy in 2019, then
Shout out
Thank you. Thank you.
for everyone in Murrieta, Moval, LA, SoCal. She brought it home.
Shout out. Yes.
Congratulations
Thank you so
on
much.
that. Incredible.
So that year was crazy because that amazing happy time rolled into losing the King Nip. And
Yeah.
then I got my partnership with my company, Vanilla Factory, and 12 Tone with Doug Morris. Right after that, actually, I told him, I spent the last day with him at Big Bob's son played for Texas Tech. So we were at the final or Elite 8 game
Okay.
together, and Nip actually came and supported him. So I have just amazing memories with that. And I told him about my company and my new deal. So then we went right into recording right after that. So a lot of my records were just about pain and about that whole experience of like losing him. So that's kind of where I got Where in the World, and like I had this premonition or something about, you know, the times just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And I had made my whole album for the rest of that year, and I kind of was going with this whole 2020 vision vibe. And then literally it was crazy because like the pandemic hit, and I was like, you know what? Like, I don't feel right releasing all of my music because the world is in a sad place.
Yeah.
So I just was like, you know, these songs fit with the times, and
Wait,
I really wanted
those
to.
were written before the pandemic?
Yes, they were written before.
Oh shit, my bad. I did not mean to stop
And if you check out, no, it's fine. If you check out the video, I actually did it right here on Hollywood Boulevard. You should check out Where in the
Shout
World
out.
video. I was right in front of the Honda Theater. The whole city was shut down. There was nobody out here. I was just
Yeah.
walking down the street.
Oh my God, I was telling every artist I know, go out and film. And I
Yeah.
was telling people go to Rodeo.
Because it will never happen again.
Exactly. Everywhere was
It
a
was
ghost town.
historic. Yeah.
God, you're an OG in the game.
Thank
Like, you're
you.
way ahead of the curve,
Thank you.
Joelle.
And actually, the video is super meaningful to me too because, like, I live right around the corner, so
Mm-hmm.
this is like my hood. And when the protests were happening last year, I was like, this is also historic. Like, I'm
Yeah.
getting out there, and I called my video guy. I was like, yo, meet me on Vine.
Yup, Hollywood and
And
Vine,
yeah,
let's
like
go.
we were in the whole mix, and I was like, this
Wow.
story just needs to be told with my music because that's literally the message I wanted to
Well,
say was
You guys
where in
had
the
12
world has love gone. So yeah, we released that last
that's
year.
mind blowing to me. Almost like you like foresaw the world going in a dark place or something. But you drew that pain from your situation with Nip.
Yeah. Hmm.
Wow. What an incredible story. I had no clue. I thought, like, amidst the pandemic, kind of like the way Anderson dropped Lockdown.
Oh, yeah.
I thought
I
it
love
was like
that
a
song.
direct response. That was my song in 2020. So shout out to 12 Tone. Like, you guys is crushing it. with all
Thank
the
you.
anthems out
Yeah, I
here.
feel really lucky to have a team that understands me and lets me control what I want to control creatively. So I feel really lucky.
Well, I feel lucky to have you here today.
Thank
Those
you.
records are really dope. But Applying Pressure was a little bit different, right? Applying Pressure, you were more like,
it's a little more happier. It's a little more motivating.
yeah, that's the exact word
I was
looking
really
for.
singing. I wanted to like show off the singing skills. So
You're like a singer, and I gotta ask you: have you ever written a song for another artist, but they couldn't? You don't have to say who, but like they couldn't sing it as good, and you were
yeah,
like,
that's actually happened.
I'm sure like every day because not many people can sing. Like
yeah,
this.
like I said, I write most of my records for myself first, so I just go in and just sing them.
Yeah.
And then if we end up pitching them, we have had people come back and be like, "Oh, she can't hit that," or "Can you lower the notes?
Can you soften this bar a little bit?"
Yeah, that's happened before.
I'm sure because you have a very powerful voice, so
Thank you.
I mean, it's tough to match with. I wouldn't blame like whoever for not being able to sing this well. Now I gotta ask: have you ever had a record you didn't want to give away, but you did because maybe it made sense? You're gonna make money faster or something.
I would say that all of my records are like my children. They're like my babies. So it's a little like tough love to give any of them away, honestly.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But now that I'm in this whole like songwriter, singer, like crossover situation, it's become easier because I like seeing my art just in the world, or like seeing my art transfused through someone else and how they interpret it or whatever. So
Absolutely.
it's become more of like, something I like to do now.
Yeah, and I think it's like you can see the ones, your one seed grow into a plant. But with this songwriting, like Ella Mai has launched a career now, and you can be a part of that. Like you'll help her write more music. And you can kind of like shower in that success too, if that kind of might have came out weird, but you know what I mean?
No,
like,
it was absolutely life-changing. So I'm super grateful.
Yeah, amazing. So Applying Pressure's out now.
Apply Pressure, yep.
Apply Pressure, I'm so
It's
sorry.
okay. Yep.
So what is that coming with? More singles, an EP? We got a project
so we have a
coming?
project coming. It's called Ice Cream.
Ice Cream?
With an I and then Scream, yep.
Okay, so it's
And
just aha.
Yes.
I see what you did there.
Yes. So Ice Cream is kind of coinciding with my company and brand Vanilla Factory.
Aha.
And
You're smart.
thank you.
I knew you were smart, but this is like the next level of that. Wow.
Thank you. So yeah, I really wanted my music, after the hard year we've gone through and the shutdowns and all that stuff, I wanted my music to feel as though you were eating ice cream. So if you are feeling down and sad, ice cream automatically will stimulate your brain to be happy. And
it literally does.
Yes, it's actually scientific.
Yeah.
And if you are happy, your ice cream will make you happier. So that's what I want.
But why title it Ice Cream?
Yeah.
You don't mind me asking.
Why?
Because you're screaming out
because
these
I'm
emotions?
screaming. It's a chance for me to be heard finally. Like you've said, I've been behind the scenes for a while, so it's my moment to put out my songs. And it's also kind of coinciding with I Hustle, which was one of Nip's brands. And it goes with Vanilla Factory.
That. Yeah, that's a flashback. I remember
Yes.
I Hustle was like one of his big things before he put Marathon like in front of everything.
Exactly.
Wow. What an incredible song. Gone too soon. So Ice Cream, is that coming out soon? When can we expect
this summer, yeah. It's a summer 21 vibe. Mm-hmm.
Hot girl summer. Okay, Joelle coming out
Yes,
this summer.
an ice cream summer.
Are you going to be on the road?
That is the
soon?
goal, absolutely. Okay. So once the music drops and once, everything starts opening back up, I think today or maybe yesterday was the day that they announced that things are being lifted and whatnot. So.
Yeah, so me, JoJo, Jenna Andrews, and Hannah Babbitt.
Shout out both my girls, JoJo and Jenna. I love you both.
Shout out, right? They were here doing Jenna Andrews does a show about mental health of artists and songwriters. So she did it with JoJo. Afterwards, we go to Starbucks. Right as we walk in, we're like, shit, no one has a mask. We all looked at each other and we were like,
right?
I think it's time.
It's that moment where you're forgetting your mask.
But we walked in and it was chill. No one was wearing a mask in Starbucks. Nobody chirped. The employees were even like, you guys are good.
Yep.
And I looked at JoJo,
back.
I looked at Jenna, we were like,
LA, we're back.
Baby. So LA being back, I hope we get to see you out on the road doing shows. And
yes.
I know you're going to be busy.
I've been in actually the studio, not the studio, but working on my show with the incomparable Lorianne Gibson.
So Lorianne from
It's coming
Making the
together,
Band.
yes.
Oh,
she's
man.
iconic.
Oh, she is iconic.
So Yeah.
I've heard stories about her. She's hard to work. Like she's a
She's
tough
the real deal.
cookie. Yeah.
Yes.
Good for you. Well, you got a great team around you.
Thank you.
You're poised for years of success. I think the work you did in these last couple years are going to define you as an artist and really like change you, your family, your kids, their kids. So
Thank you so
congratulations
much.
on
That's
everything.
so nice of you to say.
No, it's an honor to have you here. Congrats on the Grammy. Apply Pressure out now.
Yes.
Ice Cream coming soon.
Yes.
Is there anything else you want the fans to be aware of or the listeners to be waiting for?
Well, just get ready for Ice Cream, and I'm gonna be, you know, I've been doing my TikToks. We about to have an Apply Pressure challenge.
Okay.
So if you are getting back in your summer body shapes after being locked down, you're in the gym, I want to see you apply pressure. If you're out in the streets wearing your newest, best outfits, because now we can, you know, show off a little with our clothes and be more fly than, you know, sitting in the house in sweats. Let's see that. Let's see you apply pressure with those clothes. Let's see it with the makeup, the hair. My girls have already started this, so if you do a challenge, please tag me at Joelle James, and I